Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I want to welcome all of us to Chris Africa Pilot Webinar 4.0. So, without further ado, let me dive into what Chris Africa is all about before we have our speaker here. So, Chris Africa, our mission is to cultivate a generation of I'm sorry once again. My name is Oluwashima Alayande, and I'm the education officer here at Chris Africa. So, our mission at Chris Africa here is to cultivate a generation of self-reliant, joyful, and empowered leaders, technocrats, and entrepreneurs who embody positive mindset and possess the necessary resources to drive sustainability. Our vision, we envision a society where the creative and ingenious minds of Africa are nurtured with ample opportunities, platforms, and resources to realize their dreams and unleash their full potential. At the end of the day, we work based on five values, which are integrity, inclusivity, accountability, sustainability, and excellence. We have four core pillars here at Africa, which we use to drive change. That's educational outreach, enterprise development, healthcare empowerment, and housing program. Yeah, now I would like to welcome our first speaker, Mr. Jide Ayebusi. He's, he has an unflinching passion for technology and education. Mr. Jide bridges the gap between innovation, tech, and affordable affordable K-12 education. His mission is to rewrite the education trajectory and prepare the next generation of young Africans for future opportunities. Thank you very much. Now let's welcome Mr. Judy.
Good afternoon once again, everyone. Apologies for joining really late. First and foremost, just wanted to set the record that it's not Chris Africa's fault that we're starting this late. Unfortunately, one of the speakers had to bail, and also I had about to attend a function this morning, and it was also equally important. Apologies to everyone for this. So today we're looking at digital strategies for building scalable ventures. My name is Jide. So a bit about myself. So I'm a two-time founder. I started Edu School about 10 years ago to help African families, access top-rated, schools, private schools within and outside of Africa, and also access low-interest tuition financing. So, but in recent times, I've also started a new company called Live Better. So, if you a parent, you are a young professional, you're someone who earns income, Life Better is a way to go for you. It basically helps you set aside funds for future projects, and has got an element of life insurance embedded in it, so that if anything happens to you, perhaps a critical illness, accident, or death, your dependents are able to benefit what you are setting aside, unlike the typical savings where this is impossible. Please feel free to check us out on Play Store, App Store, and of course web, and we're also on social media, Life Better. I've got a BSc in psychology, and I've also got MS in marketing. I dropped out of my PhD program a few years back because I wasn't just cut out, and there were a lot of things on the table at the time. I love selling. I've been doing this for 15 years now. Either selling my business or selling in full-time, paid employment early in my career. I also love traveling, but the dissonance in this is I hate flying. So I'm neither extroverted nor introverted. I'm just very situational. Depending on the situation, I'm able to adapt to a context that fits into any situation. I'm from Mondo State, Ikariakoko, in case anyone is from that part of the world. I try to do my work during the day so that I can sleep a lot at night. So I sleep a lot. That is that about myself. And thank you guys again for joining. I would have said that we should introduce ourselves, but because of time, they wouldn't be um, perhaps we wouldn't be able to do that. But looking at the topic we are dissecting to today, ideas, right? And in a digital world, as you may be aware, every big company that you see today, be you Coca-Cola, be you Microsoft, be you Oracle, be you Facebook, Google, Samsung, name them HP, they all started as a simple idea in someone's mind. Uh, Facebook was started in a dorm at Harvard. We all know the story. Apple was started in a garage, right? So it started from a simple, concept that someone perhaps had in mind, and then able to execute and bring it to life. So don't think that I'm saying this to help you understand why it's important to have an idea and why they say idea rules the world. Although that is beginning to change because again execution is king. But at least you have to have something first to conceive as an idea before you go into execution. So, but why is idea so? Why do we have uh, what kind of like opportunity do we have in the digital world that we live in that can help your idea to thrive? That's the statement. In those days, we think that for us to start a business or to conceive an idea and bring it to life, we need millions. We need a lot of money. A lot of people will come to you and say, "Hey, this is something I have in mind, but because there's no money to execute it, that's why I've left it undone." But we live in a world where that cannot be an excuse anymore. All you need is the right idea and the right tools. Everyone is able to start something, regardless of how big they seem that they think that idea is. With the help of digital tools, you can start a business with little capital or even no capital at all. You can reach global customers almost instantly. People have been able to get their content across to the most important person in the world just by starting something in the corner of their room, in the most remotest part of any part of the world. So and that can happen almost immediately, unlike before where it will require heaven and earth to be able to do that. With the help of digital tools, you can build automated systems. You can set something up and then go sleep, and that thing will be live while you are sleeping, right? So the digital tool helps you do this. You can scale faster than traditional businesses with digital tools. And when it comes to digital tools, right? So sometimes we might be looking very far away and say, hey, perhaps I need to be able to understand how to put a jigsaw what they call jigsaw together or fly a rocket before I can do any of those. No, that's not what it is. It can be as simple as digital stores. Your store on perhaps on Instagram, right? Or on Amazon. It can be a digital store you have on TikTok. In the UK, a lot of people sell, like almost everyone has become a marketing agent or a sales agent in the UK now because digital tool has made it possible for them, which is like the platform TikTok. Like people will buy things and start selling. Some will not even have the item, in store, but they know they can talk and they go on TikTok to talk about the item, and the order is made, paid to them, and they pay the guy who has got the item and it's shipped to the person who wants to buy. So all of this was difficult, super difficult, like many years back. Take a look at digital tutoring, for instance, right? So in the past, you would have to go to a physical classroom to be able to deliver if you know how to teach. But today, you can set up a classroom at the corner of your room, on your bed, wherever you are, and be able to teach the global, wider audience without leaving the comfort of your home. So all of this, is being made or made possible because we have, digital tools that can help us harness all these opportunities. I've added 2 question marks here because I wanted to also seek your, your opinion, or perhaps your want to tell me what's the other digital tools or digital businesses that one can you think one can start leveraging digital tools today, if you don't mind. I was just basically asking who my audience are, and I was saying that I believe that my audience are young professionals, aspiring entrepreneurs, as perhaps students. Am I correct? Okay, so then back to my question. I was asking. I mentioned two digital business opportunities that that one can pursue today that is being made possible because of digital tools that we have. I mentioned digital stores. I talked about digital storing. Are there any others that come to mind? We have Lookman then. Lookman, if you don't mind, you could just like unmute yourself and speak.
Okay, good afternoon. I want to build the class. If that's okay by you, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, my name is Marvelous Ayomide, and I'm technically an admin and operations coordinator. That's what I currently do as a profession. And I'm currently also doing my postgraduate studies currently. So back to the questions. You said what business can you do with the help of digital tools? So one of the things that I feel can be implemented with the help of digital tools is selling ideas, selling information with the help of digital tools. So let's say as I am an admin and operations person, let's say I want to compile all of that into a course, into a book. With the help of digital tools, I can put that into a book and I can sell it over sites like Amazon, Gumroad, and other platforms. So I think that's one of the services, that's one of the business an entrepreneur, an individual can go to with the help of digital tools in this digital age.
Thank you very much, Marvelous, for that contribution. You're very correct and very apt. And that speaks to digital stores that we talked about earlier on. But why is Nigeria like really important? Why do we have this opportunity really very? First and foremost, what you need to bear in mind is that a good idea solves a real problem. So it's not just a real time problem. It's not a problem. The first one is that what problem are you trying to solve? You need to identify the problem, operationalize it, define it. So you can't just come with a vague problem to solve. There's no one size fits all kind of like problem. It has to be very unique. If you want to solve a problem for people who are maybe you're a university student, for instance, you discover that people are not able to, um, you know, people don't have money to buy books, and you are providing some sort of like financing to help students, buy books. That's one problem, right? It's well defined, right? So who has this problem? Again, so you are not Coca-Cola that is everywhere, that's a drink for all. Even Coca-Cola will still tell you that they have their market segment. So you need to be able to identify who you are solving this problem for. If you are solving a problem for, say, for instance, for those who are not able to afford books at school, for instance, it might not be everybody. It might be perhaps maybe like law students who read a lot of books cannot afford. Like it might not be a problem for someone who's studying economics. It might not be a problem for someone who's studying geography, right? It might not be a problem for someone who's studying sociology. It might be a problem of law students, right? So you crystallize and ensure that you distill the problem and bring it down and nail it to who that problem, who is facing that problem. And then why does the solution matter, right? So why can't they just go online instead of buying books, physical books to read? Why can't they just go online to read books? Perhaps maybe your university, for instance, maybe like universities, lecturers make it compulsory to buy books. Maybe they ask their students to bring those books, to classes, to look at. So it really makes sense to ask these three questions for you to develop and go further on your idea. I've got an example where say students struggle to find scholarships, right? Why not to build a scholarship discovering platform, right, for students? Again, it might not be students in every school. It might be students from some of the remote, universities, that we have around us in Nigeria today. Parents struggle with school fees, and then you want to build a school financing solution like what we do at Edu School, for instance, where parents can access low interest tuition financing. And that problem is not for everyone, right? We have a market segment. The rich don't need my tuition financing solution. They have the money. So my market segment is middle class, right? So the guys who has some kind of like minimal, earning power, and they want to give their children quality education, but they can't afford it. Right. So this is how real startups begin. All the startups that you see around you today, this is how they define their problem, who they are solving that problem for, why the problem, why the solution matters. And you can follow the same pattern. And it's a journey to this, right? From an idea to scaling the idea, there's a journey and there's a path to success. And if you keep any of these paths, it becomes a problem. And out of this part, validation is really the most important. But let's start from the first one. First one is spot a problem. How do you spot a problem? Like I mentioned earlier, maybe you're a student in the university, or you are early career professional, and you discover that your colleagues maybe find it difficult to commute to work because of XYZ. Maybe they live very far away, and maybe the bus system, the public transport system, very archaic, and is no longer suitable for the kind of the next generation of workforce. And your colleagues, they complain a lot about this, and you're able to say, oh, why can't we develop a platform where people can go to work, people can bring their neat, clean buses, and then have different routes where workers can commit through, and people can come to work on time, come to work in a decent vehicle, and able to work better and think better during the day. The second stage is validation. So when you spot an idea, for instance, you might discover that the reason why people come to work might not just because of traffic. It might be because of so many other things that you have not looked at. So if you jump into the conclusion that it was because of traffic that people come late to work, you might be making a very big mistake. So that's why you need to test that, to test if people really want the solution that you're proposing. And validating that where you understand what the problem actually is, rather than what you think the problem is. Once you validate, you know that this is the problem is facing some critical mass of people, within the geographical territory. Then you can, build an MVP. You're going to look at what MVP is in the next slide. But build that MVP, that first version of the product, of the platform. When I say products, I'm already referring to a digital solution, right? Maybe platform. Maybe create that first Instagram page where you want to sell, or create that account on Shopify, where you can create a store, or just that first part that you want to start, something you want to start with for people to engage with. You're creating that product. They call it MVP, and then you get real users to use. At validation level, perhaps the guys that you are using to validate your assumption or your problem might not be like the real user, it might just be potential user who fall into the market segment you want to attack. And then try to get real users to use the product. Real users can also be, to be honest, can be family and friends for a start, can be neighbors, can be your colleagues, people around you who can test and use your product. Then from there, once you garner next level of validation, then you scale the business. And there's so many digital tools that can also help you scale the business. We're going to look at them one after the other as we continue. A lot of people make this mistake that when they conceive an idea, they feel like they don't have, like I mentioned in the beginning, some feel they don't have the money, some feel like the idea is too big, there's no way for them to start. But the principle is you need to start small. Start small, build an MVP. And when I'm talking about MVP, I'm not talking about, it's not everybody that will build a big startup. or scale a big startup. It can be as small as, just selling, just being an agent, and you are creating a visibility online for that business, right? So you need to start small. And starting small meaning that you have a minimum viable product. And I talked about minimum viable product earlier on, where I was referring to it as the simplest version of your idea that people can use. For instance, rather than thinking about or building a complex app to start with, like for instance, a lot of my friends, they will come to me and say, I have this idea in mind. I want to build something really very big, fancy, and but I need front-end engineer, I need back-end engineer, I need product designer, I need a Q test, I need testers, I need they will just product manager, they'll just be telling you all of the things that they need when they have not even started, when they have not created a simple Facebook account, for the business. Right? They're already thinking about the big things that they should not bother about at the moment. So it might your MVP might be that simple, web page, maybe one pager, that captures what you do on your services. It might just be a WhatsApp service, for instance. Like, so just create a WhatsApp group and or channel via which you want to sell anything that you want to sell or promote. It might just be a simple Google form where you are using to take order from people. It can just be a social media page. So it mustn't have to be complex from day one. It was Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, that said that ideas don't come fully formed. Like, it takes time. Facebook, as it is today, wasn't like that 10 years ago, 15 years ago, right? Edusco, if you look at Edusco now, the company I lead, everything seems to be looking nice, but it wasn't like that, say 8, 7, 9 years ago. It was very crappy, right? But now, everything seems to be in order, and that's how it is. I will give you another example again. Airbnb, it started from a simple website listing apartments. It wasn't that complex when they started, but today Airbnb is big and is huge, right? So the lesson there is that you need to start small. As you start, you begin to learn. You learn from working, you learn from doing, and you learn fast. And as you learn fast, you improve into it quickly. And that's how to do it. You start small, you grow it, you learn from growing, you learn from grooming it, you learn from watering it, you learn from all of the things that you do on a daily basis, and then you improve quickly. So let's now look at tools that can help you start fast, right? So because I just mentioned that we can start from today, we can start from as basic as creating a simple web page. What are some of the things that can help us, start our companies? For instance, if you want to build a website or a store, Shopify is a good, platform where you can create a store, right, and sell. Wix is another one that people use to create a landing page and website. But even today, like, people have really gone really far. People don't even use Wix anymore. There are a lot of like AI tools that you can use to create, landing page and website, and even like not just even a landing page, like an interactive website. People use Lovable to create, websites, in this age and time. When it comes to marketing and the content, we have the social media pages, right? And social media platforms that can help you. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, they're all there. And when it comes to creating content, for instance, if you want to do email marketing, Brevo is a good platform that allows you to even do it for free. If your audience, people that you want to communicate with via email are not a lot, Brevo can help you do that for free. CapCut is also free. Do your video, do your recording. A lot of us we use some of these tools, but it's just that some of us we use these tools for something else. But we can also use these tools to support our businesses. When it comes to collaboration and productivity, we have a lot of like tools that can help you. You can collaborate with someone here, someone in the US, someone in the UK, while in Nigeria, with the help of Slack, Notion, for instance. And when it comes to like ideating, putting things together properly, like setting objectives, setting goals, tasks for yourself, Trello is a good way to do that with your team. Right. It also allows you to coordinate objectives with the rest of your team. And Asana is also another good tool that can help you coordinate and manage tasks, with everyone. All of these tools can help you, operate like a big company for free, right? Even at wherever you are at any point in time. Uh, Social media, we cannot overemphasize this. It has to be your launch pad. Uh, Anytime. It's the most powerful, free marketing tools you can ever think of. Everyone is on social media. So with the help of social media, you guys already know this. You can build a brand, a very big brand. You can reach thousands of customers, in the corner of your room or office. You can test your product ideas, right? You can sell directly to people you want to sell to, with the help of social media. So use social media effectively. Use it effectively. Don't be using social media for, I want to say you shouldn't use it to enjoy yourself and, consume content, but ensure that you are productive on social media. Create something and, on social media and sell it, promote it and sell it, and then see where life takes you and your business. When it comes to building small companies, one thing you want to have at the back of your mind is you want to build a business that will outlast you. At least you are giving it a try, right? At the same time, you want to scale and make sure that the business outlasts you. One of the ways to do this is to ensure that you automate and systemize as a small company, for instance, because again, you do not have money to hire, people who can help you do certain things. Because of that, you can automate, some of your processes and operations and ensure that you systemize it. For instance, on your social media, you can set up, create content that you can use, say, over the next 3 months, and the content will be published for you across social media pages without even you trying to do that manually, right? And also the same thing with your website, your email. You can create an automated system where every inquiry that comes in, every email that drops, every phone conversation, every WhatsApp, there's an AI that is, again, AI tool now that can help you put all of this together, help you engage with those customers and even sell to them, right? Again, like I said, you can automate your marketing. And as you're automating all of these things, from social media to your immediate pages, email, telephone, and WhatsApp, and automating them, you also want to track. You don't just want to leave it to chance. You want to track how many customers are getting on a daily basis, how many of them are shunning, what are their complaints, what are their issues. You analyze the data. How best do they prefer, this product you are selling? Would they want it wrapped in a different kind of wrapper instead of the one you're using? Like, different little things that can help you improve your business and your businesses and services would be impossible if you're not analyzing, the data that you have. Again, speaking to the previous slide, scaling is not just about working harder, really. It's about working smarter with systems. You want to create systems that can enable you scale. You will scale, without you having to work really harder or, sweat. And some of the tools, I mentioned a lot of them in the past. I'll continue to mention them as we, engage in this conversation. There's HubSpot, that you can use to manage customers. And there's Google Analytics for tracking growth. Earlier, I mentioned analyzing data and tracking your customers' data, tracking customers, analyzing data. These two tools can help you. HubSpot and Google Analytics can help you. And some of these tools, they are very explanatory. You do not need anybody to teach you. Sometimes you can even learn how to use some of these tools on Google and on YouTube, right? So they're not difficult to use. They're very user-friendly. Just latch on them and use them. The next thing I want to talk about is thinking global from day one. We live in the world where they say it's a global village. So businesses, digital businesses now are now borderless. You can be here and be selling to someone in the US. Even as of today, people sell Nigerian fashions to the proms graduates or the proms for proms in the US. So proms, they are this graduation that we do also in Nigeria when we are leaving secondary school. It's a big deal in the US, right, where people wear African fashion, African dresses, and a lot of people are cashing out, making those dresses in Nigeria, and they're shipping them to US, most especially Texas, where you have a lot of like black people, and also Maryland and some of those other areas. So, and it's because those people are able to capture those market because they're online, they're available online. So those the customers in the US, customers in the UK, they will not miraculously know about your business if you are not online, right? Um, so from day one, you can think really global and then and scale. And if you want to do freelancing business, think talking about thinking global and being borderless. Upwork can help you. You can be somewhere in I'm world of it and be like freelancing for someone in China, right? It doesn't matter. Fiverr, Upwork, all these guys can help you do that. You can help, and you can also collect your money like in forex. Earn your money in forex, and there are a lot of also payment gateways that can also help you. Collect. Uh, get paid. In dollars, in pounds, or in whatever currency you want. Uh, when it comes to say online courses, for instance, I'm talking about businesses that really can go borderless, right? Zoom has made it possible for people to create, classes and teach other people. Teams also is another one. Google Meet, the one we're using today, is a good one that people, freelancers can use, or whoever wants to go into online, uh, course as a business can use to engage with their customers, with their audience. E-commerce, when it comes to e-commerce, which is another like good business that can go borderless. Amazon is a good way, a good platform to create an account, create a store and sell to anyone anywhere in the world. So if you're a student in Lagos, London, or Nairobi, you can start customers worldwide. The lesson is that your location should never limit your ambition in any way. Let's quickly talk about some of the mistakes that young entrepreneurs make. Why they think about their idea, why they're building their businesses, or for those that have not even started at all. What are some of the mistakes? The first one is waiting too long to start. Some think that they don't have all of the resources needed to start a business. As we have seen today, you do not need plenty of resources. You need your brain to start a business. Another mistake is trying to build the perfect product. Like I mentioned earlier on, ideas do not come fully formed. Start where you are. Start with what you have. And this is not me sounding motivation. I hate motivational speaking, by the way. It's just reality. Ignoring customer feedback, like you are selling, customers are providing feedback. You are eating on them because they are providing you feedback. It doesn't make sense. Listen to them and do their bidding. You are not the one to consume your product. You are selling. They're the ones consuming. So do their bidding and do things that work for them. Doing everything alone is another mistake. You cannot do everything alone, right? You need tools to help you and you need people to help you. The people to help you might not necessarily be like professionals who would charge you a lot of money. They might just be your friends, families, like who can help you, who can support you. Perhaps maybe if you talking about word of mouth, for instance, to promote your business, your families and friends can talk about you, about your business to their other friends, and then you can build that network and you can even sell more. Not learning basic business skills. You need basic business skills. We're going to talk about some of them as we continue. But you need to remember this: entrepreneurship is a learning journey. Yeah, it's a curve to that learning. As you start, you make mistakes, you learn from your mistakes, and you move forward. And that's how to get better. So, what are some of these? Talking about the skills, I mentioned here that you need to learn some basic business skills. So, what are some of these skills? Basically, the honest truth is for you to succeed in the digital economy, you need the skills. The first one is problem solving. Problem solving is important. Why? Because as an entrepreneur, every day you are putting out a fire. Trust me, you are solving a lot of problems. Solving problems for your customers, solving problems among your team, solving problems within yourself, the system. There's no power. I understand that in Lagos now, the last 1 week or so, there's blackout everywhere. That's a problem to solve. So how do you ensure that you? So if you have business that is dependent on power, electricity, then you need to find a solution to this. So if you're not problem solving, if you don't have the problem solving mindset, then it will be difficult to do a business. Digital marketing, this is super important. We live in a digital world. Digital marketing skill you need to learn, and we're not talking about learning pay per click. Go and learn things that are super difficult. Things that will take you forever to learn. They are just simple things. How do you edit a video? How do you record a video? How do you post video on social media? How do you get engagement? How do you promote? So these little things that can just help you grow your business. You need to learn them. Data thinking. The world lives on data now, so you need to have data mindset. And one thing that can help you is to track, track progress, track certain metrics as you make progress. It might be, the age composition of your customers, the time they buy, how they want to buy, where they buy. All of these things will help you if you have an accurate data about your customers and your business. Communication is key. You are the first salesperson of your business. You are the first. Even when you have salespeople selling for you, people still want to hear from who owns the business. So you need to develop good communication skill and sales skills. You need to learn how to sell. Some people tell you, I love this business. It's a business that is solving a lot of problem. I just feel like people should just be able to buy without talking to me. Trust me. You need to learn how to talk to people for people to buy from you. Most especially at the early stage. Even as you grow in the business, even when you have a lot of other people working for you, you still need to communicate with your team. You need good communication skills to be able to do that. You will need to communicate with your critical stakeholders, right? If you go ahead to raise investment, for instance, so you need people to you want to engage with your investors, policymakers, government regulators. You need good communication skills to be able to engage with them. Otherwise, your business might just hit a deadlock. Financial discipline is another thing, how you're able to separate your business finances from your personal finances. People don't do this. They have same account. The account they're using for their business is the one they're using for themselves. It doesn't work that way. Have a clear-cut division between the two. Business is the business. Personal finances, personal finance. Adaptability is the most important of all of these skills, because as you're learning, as you are growing, things are happening. Like life is not, it's not straight jackets. And business journey is never straight jacket. You will learn some things that would, you will wake up one day and say, I just want to stop this business now, right? So you need to be able to adapt and be able to, be resilient about what you do. Otherwise, any little, roadblock that you meet on the way, you would want to stop naturally. But being able to adapt to situations, adapt to the system, adapt to your environment, adapt to your market, adapt to your customers will help you grow your business. So as I move to the end of this webinar, as we go into Q&A part, these are the things I want you to do if you are an aspiring entrepreneur on this call. After this webinar, I want you to, if you have an idea, you need to take an action this week immediately as we finish this webinar. So talk to 5 potential customers. If you have an idea that you think that has been bothering you for a while, in fact, you can't sleep, you can't, eat because of this idea, you just feel like the idea is going to solve a lot of problem in the world, go look for 5 persons to even talk to, who are your potential customers. Create a simple landing page after this. Again, I've mentioned tools that you can use to create your landing page. Launch on social media. Don't waste time. Go create that account on social media. It's free to create an account on social media. Go do that. Build a prototype. Prototype is your MVP, right? So again, nothing really complex or complicated about this. Join an entrepreneurship community. This is key. If you're a student, there usually a lot of organizations within the campus that you can join. If you're a young entrepreneur, young career professional, there's also groups in Lagos, in Abuja, in Port Harcourt, like wherever you are, there's always going to be one community that can help you, grow and get better. Because all of this is important because action beats ideas. Ideas used to rule the world, but not anymore. Execution does. So if you have an idea, it's in your head, it's just in your head. It's the moment you start to implement that idea that it becomes something. So stop, uh, stop stocking up ideas. Start executing your ideas. As I wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that the future belongs to builders, right? Creators and innovators. And as a result, you don't need the perfect resources. You don't need perfect timing. There's never going to be a perfect timing. You don't need perfect knowledge. You're not going to know everything. You learn every day. What you need is curiosity. Curiosity to want to try something. What you need is courage, the resilience to want to build despite all of the challenges, all of the adversities that you see, and being consistent with whatever it is that you are doing. You don't want to start something today, you're jumping to another tomorrow. Today you are hot, tomorrow you are cold. It doesn't work. So every successful enterprise, started as a small idea, and someone decided to pursue it. And that's when it becomes wherever it is that it has become today. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and I look forward to engaging further with you via Q&A.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Jide. So, please, if anyone have any questions for Mr. Jide, you can ask your questions now, please. Do you have any questions? If you have any questions, you can ask Mr. Jide. You can raise up your hand and you can unmute, or you can just type it in the chat box. Okay, we have a question from this Professor Sonia here. Please, you can unmute.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Precious, and I'm part of the team at CRISA Africa. Mr. Jide, thank you so much for your time and for the knowledge you've transferred. Really do appreciate it. My question is that you emphasized the reason, why we should join entrepreneurship communities. I just wanted to know how we can locate these entrepreneurship communities, especially given many businesses are niche, and so how we can draw down to locating entrepreneurship communities that resonate with our business ideas around our locality or even globally.
Thank you very much for that question, Precious. A simple answer is just go online. There's so many platforms now where you can search for all of this information that can help you. Say for instance, if I live in Yaba and I just put on maybe GPT or Luna. I don't know if how many of you are familiar with this platform called Luna. So on Luna, there's so many associations, events, programs that are happening around that, because I get invited almost on the weekly basis about different programs and different programs, community having different events on a weekly basis, and you can just use that platform to search for events around you in Yaba, and you find if you live in Ikeja, the same thing, and you can just basically go on Google to search, or go on Eventbrite to search, or go on I think I mentioned ChatGPT earlier on. So all of these are opportunities and platforms where you can search for all these communities, associations, and what have you. If you're a student, for instance, there are some communities that are no-brainer. How many of us are students here? Okay, I guess none. So you have a lot of communities that are geared towards encouraging entrepreneurship. One of them is ISEC, for instance. So if you join ISEC, you'll be able to network and with like minds, people who can also support you as you build. I think there was also another one that's particularly for entrepreneurship. I can't remember, but yeah, they are on different campuses across Nigeria. But if you're not a student, definitely like the search engines will help you to locate and find the right um, opportunities, like communities that can support and help you thrive.
Thank you, Mr. Jide. Would appreciate if you can give us the Luna link so we can send to everybody on this call
Yes, I will.
afterward. Because I
Uh,
did try to find Luna online now and I had nothing productive was coming up.
what project comes up? Let me check. Sorry, it's actually Luma, not Luna. Luma.
Okay. Let me have a
Yes,
look.
yeah, luma.com.
In the absence of no other questions, I would like to thank Mr. Jide for his time and knowledge as spoke to us today. So, Mr. Jide, thank you very much for your time, for the knowledge you shared with us today, and we hope our aspiring entrepreneurs that can take from it and use that to make us something very productive. So, I want to thank everyone that was able to join the webinar today. Uh, like I said earlier, due to some a feedback form will be sent to a feedback form will be sent to your mails. A feedback form will be sent to your mail, so please you can kindly check your mails for the feedback form, and the feedback form is going to enable us to make future editions of the performance webinar better. And also, we encourage you to stay connected to us via social media platforms. If you want to reach out to us, can reach out to us via our mobile phone number, Instagram, our email address. And also, you can choose to become a volunteer or partner with us. If you visit our Instagram page, you can see the volunteer link and the partnership link. Then you can fill the form and we'll reach out to you. Also, this is uh this is our Instagram handle that's at Decrease Africa. And this is if you have any information you or any information or any inquiries you would like to make, just reach out to this email address, or you can reach out to us via call or WhatsApp through this number. And also, we encourage you to check out our website because we make some we make some posts on how to some posts to inspire the youth in different aspects, be it health, be it housing, be it education, and the likes. So once again, thank you very much, everyone, for joining this webinar. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Jide. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a good day. Thank you.